And then to be able to develop that further and further on, they show that this is what the game looks like at a top level. It should feel like you're always fighting against two members, and if you aren't able to coordinate or you go to try to make a hero play or you step slightly out of line, you will get punished. I mean, reminding everybody, that was Ice Cube's counter pick. And they got their early score, and that's kind of nice, but again, if Starburst is playing if Jackpot rather is playing like this, I hope that Starburst is ready. They've been waiting a little while, and it does appear that most of you in the audience do think that Starburst will be the victors of this, but I don't know, man. Jackpot is on a razor's edge right now. Sharp.
Yeah, and honestly, if you want to play as sharp as Jackpot, you got to be entering some tournaments yourself, guys. You want to get up to this level. We got some tournaments like Freshwater Shoals coming up. You can introduce Freshwater Shoals to a new Malloy IT draft section for casual players. It's casual, so you can jump in. Even if you're feeling a little bit antsy on trying to get up there, you got to start somewhere, right? Just like Launch Point, Freshwater will run drafts for the usual ranked modes, but with a twist. Players will also be able to queue for Turf War and minigame drafts. The best part, Freshwater is open right now. So call your casual friends, spread the word, because this is one minigame party they don't want to miss, man. Signups are always open over at discord.io/mellowit.
Master of segues, incredible. Incredible. Yeah. And let me use that to segue over to our first game here in Losers Finals. Starburst versus Jackpot, two North American stalwarts here, starting on Splat Zone's Manta Maria. And this is such a storied, I'll say, rivalry between these two teams, in the sense that they have always been in the top 3 in North America since they've really risen to power here. But it's a rivalry that I think hasn't gotten the opportunity to really fight at this level, at this type of stage, of course, being a major. So these teams have some history. They know what each other is pulling out. I'll be very, very excited as we get started, Austy.
Yeah, so, you know, we got the pirate ship on deck here. Of course, it's going to be Splat Zones. You got 2 of those zones as well on top of this. You got different objectives to try to fight for, but right out the gate, everyone's like pushing forward as fast as possible. Looks like Jackpot's going to be the one to try to get a lot of splats, kind of force Starburst a little bit back while they try to take over both of these zones. Looking really yellow, and they're indeed going to be able to take over that control. A couple more points, they're going to be able to take that lead. Another happening here, and all of a sudden, all of Jackpot's just like falling apart.
Yeah, it's amazing how you go forward into what you think is a 1v2 there. The fight takes just a little bit longer than you think, and that gives the other members enough time to rotate back over. They did have solid control of the flow of the game for a little bit there, but we talk so much about timing with these fights, right? And understanding that not only do you have to win the fight, you have to win it quickly if you want to truly push an advantage. And of course, much easier said than done. But now we're going to see that vaunted Stingray from Ice, another special coming out. In addition to Brand's Tenta missiles, is Biscuit's Bomb Rush here. This is going to, again, pour a lot of damage on. They weren't able to get a full cap there, or at least a lot of points being left on the table here. Credit the members of Jackpot for being disciplined here and at least making sure their own zone was held through that.
I'm loving Biscuit just kind of playing safe currently right now, just chilling back, making sure they get a little bit of the zones while he waits for the teammates to try to like get some flanks around as well. Going back, throwing your sub weapons, getting the bombs out there. That's like the safest option you can go for, but they are being pushed back right now. Jackpot taking over that center area while they're trying to like just continue to just assert their dominance over the entirety of this map, but gonna get caught by that Stingray. Leafy Legend might be the next target here. He's on mark for it. Gonna be able to survive, get those super bombs up to just try to take those zones as much as possible, but not too much is gonna be able to happen from that.
No, I think this time, though, enough went down. But no, that entire time, Legend pivoted all the way back around. They are going to lose control of the zone, and Legend is going to opt to stick here and fight it out. And hey, that trade may pay dividends later on the line here. It's going to at least give them an avenue to come back into the map as opposed to leaving all 3 of them there. But it really does seem like the MO at this point is Starburst is going to play off of Ice's Stingray. And I know, again, that's not some big reveal that Starburst goes as Ice's Ray goes, but times that they push back in, it has started with Ice's Stingray.
Yeah, literally, that Stingray is just so powerful to be able to just like jump back to the back line, start shooting it off. It forces people to get away from the objective. You know where the objective is going to be. It's not going to change. It's the same exact spot, so it's the very first place you're going to shoot that Stingray. Then once you find your mark, you're going to try to follow it through, kind of playing a little bit of game of hot and cold on that sound effect to be able to try to figure out where you're going to be going. Legend's going to get downed by Brian as he's going to push back into enemy base here. A little bit too far, though. Gets splat themselves, but it is currently a 3v1, and I believe Starburst is going to be able to take home this section this time.
Yeah, again, that time it seemed like they finally were able to push forward a little bit more honestly, if you will. And this is the moment that we haven't really seen here. It's a full 4-on-4 on the map with Jackpot being the ones trying to break back out. And Jared very riskily jumping in before throwing out that ink armor, was able to get it out. But look at this, had to immediately back away, took too much damage, the armor was gone. It does look like the other members of Jackpot were able to push forward at the time. And very nicely moving forward there. That should be another. Jared's able to get 2. That's 3. Ice's Stingray is there, yes, but you can bet he's not going to fire it right now, as they will go all the way back in a perfectly executed take back there without the need for that many specials, Austy.
We are just rubber banding right now. Literally, like you said, they weren't using many of their specials. They can save it for the next fight here. Speaking of, Ice going to bring out that Stingray yet again. Gets a splat on Leafy, trying to find their next mark. Has to move around due to the Tenta missiles, just kind of interrupting that special a little bit. And now we're seeing a lot of the blue team here. Starburst just trying to paint as much as possible on the center area. Wants to take over that zone, but they don't really have the high ground. Having the high ground is so important. It's going to be a trade right there. Leafy going down, Brian going down. Only one player left on Jackpot. They're going to be able to lose that control. It is looking blue out here.
Oh, just barely in time. You can see there, they actually haven't applied the penalty yet. Probably need to do that here. Oh my gosh, if they let this slip away by not applying the penalty, they are going to be kicking themselves forever here. Enough members of Jackpot are back now, and they might actually be able to paint over this here. This is some more missiles coming through. They have solid control of their own zone. The ink is going to be falling here. The bomb rush is here. This might take it back, and I can't believe that they have still managed to hold on at this point with no penalty. They only need a couple more points as we go down to the last 10 seconds.
This is so stressful. Just you want that yellow just to get full. All they want is the yellow to get up there so Jackpot can take it. It's going back and forth. Jackpot, no penalty. They take it. Oh, they could have just one more point. Could have solved it for them, but unfortunately, it's going to be going into overtime. They're still fighting tooth and nail right here. People jumping in team for Starburst. That's not going to happen. Oh my God. They just need to hold it for one more second, 9.
That is... again, like, that entire moment there, if they had applied the penalty, they wouldn't have had to stress out about that at all. And I'll need to go back and look and see if they were fighting somebody off to the side or why they didn't do that. I thought there was an opportunity, but if they let that one slip away, that was going to be one that they would remember for the rest of this set. And okay, you know, you made a slip up, you held it, you got the win, and now we're on to the next game. No worries. What happened? I don't know.
At the end of the day, it's game 1. You know, like that is the first map. There's still plenty of time here. This isn't just a best 2 of 3 anymore. We are jumping into best 3 of 5 territory here in losers finals. So, you know, we got plenty of time to come up, try to recoup. The fact that you kept up that well with Starburst is already a good sign in my book for the future of this set.
Yeah, I mean, if this is what we can expect between these two teams, of course, you can expect it to be a great set. And these two teams have treated us to some dazzling displays before, but we will probably stick with splat zones for the foreseeable future here. I imagine that Starburst, certainly known for their Rainmaker counter picks here, will switch to that when they have the opportunity. But this really is the mode that Jackpot has been most successful on. It's certainly what they're most comfortable with. And I do feel that it fits their swarming playstyle a little bit more, especially on a map like this where, let's be honest, Austin, we've been playing this one for years, and it might be the most popular map in this game.
I know it's one of my favorites, man. Just literally just going to the art academy, gonna learn some, you know, a little bit of studying, going to college a little bit, you know, get that little art degree to maybe not get the dream job that you're looking for, but it's on a I didn't want to say it, but it came from the heart, man. It came from the heart. That's all I can say, but that's okay. We're gonna come to the center of the splat zone. What's cool about this zone is you got that building that's on top, so there's a little bit of high ground, and it counts towards the painting as well. So let's get started as both teams are gonna start painting their way over there. You're gonna notice some people specifically going their own way to try to build special bar as much as possible.
Yeah, oftentimes this map really does come down to, you know, who doesn't let up their plat without getting anything in return. Of course, everyone knows you take control of this map, you get the high ground, you put your attackers up there on the enemy plat, and you just try to hold from there and hold solidly. But so often I feel like whenever a person goes up on the plat like we saw there, it's a trade, right? And now you can see Jackpot doesn't really have control of Starburst, which does mean Starburst is going to get the opportunity to activate their set play here, come back in with as many specials as they'd like, and go from there. Now, that's not to say that you have to take it in order to get a full long hold, but certainly makes it a little easier once you can step out like we're seeing Biscuit here.
Yeah, And he's definitely stepping out here, going for some specials, putting a little bit of bombs on towards center stage, trying to get some coloring for Starburst's ink there. Unfortunately, got kind of steamrolled. We're going to see a green team here, Jackpot, easily take that zone and continue to push forward and just prevent them from coming in. What a counter pick.
I mean, like, steamrolled is actually putting it lightly somehow, and that's a pretty strong word to be using there, but it's true. And now they're going to have two specials here to push in, but I don't think they're going to be able to get their second missiles out. They are actually able to, so the missiles will come in. If the members of Jackpot are able to move away from the zone, it might be okay, but they are not perfectly timed, and Bran opting to fire that second set of missiles may have made all the difference there. I didn't think he was going to have time, but that's why he's Bran.
Yeah, honestly, now the point difference is so massive that you still probably have enough time for at least 2 fights before, giving up this victory, the 7-67. However, those penalty points are brutal. That means you just got to hold on to that lead.
Yeah, they'll have to hold it here, and again, they're going to be, again, firing enough missiles here to paint the opponent's flat there without having to do a whole lot else. Now you'll see here that they have snuck Jared onto this left side here. If Jared opts to dive in, this might be a great time to do it. Is instead going to pivot back and go to the right side. A very excellent decision here. You can see that they were able to get both members there, and that is what makes Jackpot such a strong team, among other things, is Jared had eyes on that side and one player there. The call out is made. Jared instead pivots back over to the right side. They create the advantage, and they are at least able to stop the bleeding for now and put a nice big penalty on, even if it hasn't resulted in a full lockout.
Bro, my man Jared be staying cool out here, man. He's got the Booyah Bomber ready to go, too, making excellent decisions, trying to go for the fight, using the corner for their advantage. Can he get the splat? He does. Takes care of Bran and trying to go back towards center stage to try to get a little bit of painting, give it a little bit of an assist here. Legend, meanwhile, is going to be trying to go for a flank. Gets on top of him, doesn't get the pick. That was so brutal. Doesn't matter. He gets the assist instead, going back to center stage. And we see Jackpot just kind of holding onto this zone yet again. Trying to keep the battles up, playing a little bit patient, build up some ink meter here while all the teams just going to be kind of holding back a little bit, wait for the specials to get built up. There's the Booyah Bomb. That means time to go, man. Everyone's going to be pushing forward. Got all the specials coming out on deck just to prevent this push from happening. Jared flanks behind him, gets his pick on ice, but it's a trade. Maybe not a good trade. It is 2v1 right now. They managed to get it, and that's going to be Jackpot again, taking claim of that zone, but they did get the penalty points.
They did get the penalty points, and I mean, it's a game of chicken, right? Everyone looks at the top of the screen like, well, they've got 3 specials, we've got 2. All right, just wait for them to do it, and we'll throw ours, and we'll just see what happens there. And that scramble situation, I actually thought that Jared maybe could have gotten that pick on ice cleanly there. Thankfully, the rest of the members of Jackpot were able to control the zone in that spot, so it wasn't a big deal. Now, Biscuit's burst bomb, or suction bomb rush rather, might be their only opportunity to take the zone, and thankfully it is enough. So members pushed up in conjunction with that. That's 3 down here, and with just over a minute left, this penalty is going to start to go very quickly. It's a delayed wipe. You can take a look at the top of the screen. There's going to be at least 1 set of missiles online, and you have to imagine there's going to be another set coming up shortly.
Yeah, and that delay wipe is actually insanely important for them, right? Because that's going to make it so the team of 4 over here for Jackpot is going to have to recoup even longer to wait for their 4th player to get the spawn in. But that's okay. We got meters going. There's the Booyah Bomb. There's the missiles. They're going to start making that push towards it. That's literally how splat zones go, right, man? You're just constantly trading specials after specials to make that approach go in. Got 1 splat. Jared trying to find another one. Couldn't find its mark. Going to be backing around here. Green team trying to find their way. Gets a pick on Bagel. That's going to be a 4v1 right now. Jackpot in control. Gets the zone again. There's time for 1 more push from Starburst. This is their moment to shine. They have to take the zone 1 more time, take it to overtime, and then after that, have to defend the zone from the opposing team. Can they pull it off, 9?
And it's going to be so frustrating here. .Q in the best spot that the Rapid wants to be in here, can put safe damage on anybody from any distance. Jared going to throw this down just to get a little bit out, and now it's gunfight territory. Is able to get the trade with Bagel. There's going to be not enough members, though, coming in. You saw that they had stacked up onto that left side. That's where Jared's Booyah Bomb went. And a great counter pick by Jackpot there. Really in control of that game outside of maybe 1 or 2 fights going the other way.
Dude, I was actually a huge fan of Starburst going for that delay pick on Jared, by the way, when he was just by himself. It was like a 3v1. They could have easily just solid it, but they're like, hey, wait, let's make him feel scared and then wait for him to like move around a bit. We'll throw a little bit of burst bombs at him so it weakens his defense, but not get the pick. And then we'll finally, after a couple seconds, then get that pick on him just to force him to spawn later. And that just kind of goes to show how good their coordination is when they're trying to like make those delayed wipes. That's such a big deal, 9. It
really is, and I think it's the other frustrating thing about when you're building up the specials, right, and you're identifying where the opponent's going to come from here, you have to use your specials secondarily, is you know that the Booyah Bomb is going to be followed up with the Kensa 52, right? You can do that when everyone knows, well, okay, it had to throw it, so it's going to come from this direction. The problem is that the Tenta Missile user, which is typically your Kensa Splatter Shot, doesn't have that same issue. It's not always so easy to see what angle they're going to come in from. And if it looks to you at home like Jared simply throws the Booyah Bomb and runs forward without really much opposition, it's because they've timed it so well that after the missiles come out and after the Booyah Bomb comes forward, they have to immediately tend to the threat of that Kensa Splatter Shot before the missiles come through. Enough about last game. Wow, look at this. Starburst taking us to Rainmaker on Blackbelly Skate Park. Austy, are you surprised whatsoever?
Not at all. And honestly, I feel like Jackpot's going to have to deal with this threat that's going to be Starburst on the stage, man. Literally, this is the threat of being able to just end this game immediately. If you push the Rainmaker, everything just kind of goes right in your way. Every single time I've seen Starburst play on this map, though, they always be taking the Rainmaker to the right, because like you said, there's like a line over there you can just kind of like hole your enemies into to get a clean pick, especially with the Stingray. Already got it filled, by the way, off the gate, trying to like push a little bit on Legend immediately.
Yep, and you can see even though the Stingray didn't get anybody, it meant that two members had to run away and just try to dodge it. So the other members of Starburst were like, oh cool, perfect, we're playing 3v2 on the other side of the map, let's do that. And look at this, already Biscuit and an Inkjet leading the way here. Gonna duck and dodge a little bit to make it that much more difficult. Leafy making the absolute correct play there, which is to dive forward and at least take out the Rainmaker to slow it down. There are enough members of Jackpot that they should be able to throw some bombs here to stall it. On the other side though, that's really the only pick that we have seen Jackpot get, which means still lots of specials.
Yeah, and just like I called it, man, they're going to be pushing it right. They love that angle. Just try to get as fast as possible. Already putting it at a remaining 47 points. The Rainmaker is going to be going down again. But we still have Ice here getting a pick by themselves in a 1v2 situation. Going to be able to stay alive, but for people to be able to, like, jump towards him. Team's going to try to go in there. Unfortunately, loses one of their members, but that's okay. There's still 3 people right up there next to the Rainmaker. Looks like they might be trying to back up just a little bit, get some painting in, build a little bit of special meter for this next push.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they opt to let it reset here. They've got full control of mid. They know that Bran is on that right side. They're going to have to at least keep one person over there. It looks like they've sent .Q back in that area to try to deal with it here. Meanwhile, Biscuit actually going to be playing a little defense, senses that there's somebody attacking from this angle. Might actually be able to get the jump on them here. The Toxic Mist is going to slow him down, but the Booyah Bomb powers through the Toxic Mist, and they're still not opting here to challenge Biscuit. Finally, they do send 2 people here to do it. It is met with the Ink Armor. Biscuit going to be running forward. That's a lot of damage on those players, and you have to think that Ice's Stingray is going to be able to at least get the Rainmaker, and it does.
Yeah, and that's going to be a trade. Unfortunately, going to be in Jackpot's favor here. Try to see Legend not picking it up right away. Wants to try to get rid of Ice's threat here, but unfortunately, you see all of Starburst trying to gang around a little bit. Get a lot of purple ink here, trying to pave that path for the Rainmaker. You see Ice pushing the path. We got an Inkjet on deck for Biscuit to try to get some more picks and paint some more paints for the Rainmaker to be able to push as far as possible.
Yeah, and .Q has really been keeping them alive in this game. Got what I believe was a direct shot onto Bran with that. That's a lot of damage to at least slow that down, and then put the wall up there to at least make sure that no other members could get there, and Biscuit's Inkjet really wasn't able to find any leverage because of it here. So after a really rough opening fight here, which is so often seen when you have Ice's Stingray in the first 10 seconds of the game, it's been, I think, Jackpot kind of keeping pace here with what Starburst is trying to do. They just haven't gotten a solid enough foothold to make a big push of their own.
Oh no, a double from Biscuit. That's going to be huge for Starburst. And like you said, man, Jackpot just can't seem to get any push on the Rainmaker, man. And the problem is like you said, they're keeping pace, they're keeping up with them, trying to, every single time they try to go for a push, they manage to stop it immediately. But they have yet to have a push of their own.
Yeah, not a lot of grabbing of the Rainmaker here. They're, of course, going to start with another one of Ice's Stingrays here. And Bagel kind of off here on his own. It does look like Ice is going to rotate over here. And actually, there we go. Very good. I was going to say the members of Jackpot need to be careful not to dive too hard. This could be a trap. Instead, the indirect damage done by .Q is going to be enough. And look at this now. Legend leading the charge with that suction rush. There's a lot of points they're going to need again. The Toxic Mist of all things slowing that down. Biscuit throwing it and then immediately deploying the Inkjet. Get another one. Why not? Jared gonna go crazy on the other side, but one cannot beat 3.
Bro, can you believe the Toxic Mist weapon is the thing that managed to stop that thing, slow it down in its tracks? They were so close. Literally, all they needed is like one more hop, and it would have put the points over to give them that lead they needed. But unfortunately, that push was not enough. We're going to go to 1 minute left on the clock. We got Starburst in favor of holding on to that Rainmaker. Bagel's going to be making the push once again down the right side. All the team is there. This is going to be paving the way. Bagel's trying to make the push. Even lowers the score even more. And just that goal post just keeps getting pushed further and further to the end.
Icing on the cake here as once again, just 30 seconds left, and now all the boxes you have to check to get this to work, right? You know, first and foremost, we got to deal with Ice's Stingray. That can end the game immediately here. We have to seek out Ice, but Ice is not going to move forward unless absolutely forced to here, so on the other end of it here, I guess we're just going to have to take back mid first. It's hard to do that when they have all of mid, so they've done everything right. They have all 4 of their members in a relevant position pushing forward. Ice actually is forward here. He's going to rotate back. They are able to get rid of Ice here, and they actually have a Booyah Bomb. If they can figure out where they want to throw it, this could be huge. They throw it as protection of the Rainmaker. They have Legend pushing forward. They're going to opt to pivot back to the left. This is a huge gamble here at the end.
Q is making to the left now, instead of going for the right, trying to like mix them up where they're going to go. Unfortunately, Biscuit's going to be able to take down Jared, takes down the Rainmaker, and takes the game 2-1. Starburst here holding on to their lead, their counter pick coming in clutch.
And that was 2 times a promising looking push got stopped immediately in its tracks by Toxic Mist, the painted sub of the Splash-O-Matic there, thrown down to slow it, and then the immediate Inkjet to soar high above the skate park itself and getting those big picks. I think that they were probably still okay if Biscuit didn't get that final shot on the Rainmaker. I think they had enough people there. They were on the respawn, but I mean, with the way Biscuit played and with those insane numbers at the end, you know, gotta be feeling great about that weapon on that map.
Dude. So close. Literally, it was just like you got to make that split-second decision near the end, right? In that final push, there was a chance for you to keep going right, which is the faster path to the thing, but that's what the enemy team wants you to think. So instead, okay, I'm going to mix it up, make them think I'm going that way, go for a dive to the left instead to try to, like, force the enemy team to go in one direction. But if they're already calling it out and they already got people over there to stop you, then what was the right call? It's, everyone always knows, if you study the game enough, you'll know what the right call for every given situation is, but it's all about executing it in that split second timing and being able to know when to go for it and when not to.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the name of the game is, okay, well, what is the right decision now? And that's so difficult to say. And again, the fact that Biscuit alone was able to really slow down those 2 pushes, the Toxic Mist into the Inkjet here, it's a kit that has flown in and out of the limelight, sometimes used for specific maps where Inkjet is so powerful. The Splash-O-Matic, one of the fastest, if not the fastest and most consistent Inkjet builder in the game. So if it's something like a Rainmaker and you know that if you've got the right side shut down, it's only going to take 2 Toxic Mists to stop a push on the left side. I mean, what a great asset to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, seriously, just being able to have the tools you need. So we're going to jump into this next map. It's looking like, I think I saw Piranha Pit, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to go back to Piranha Pit, but instead it's going to be on Splat Zones or Clam Blitz. I'm actually confused which one's going to be.
So it's going to be on zones here, and I really do think that Jackpot is going to go back to zones every time you can let them here. Yeah. We saw how hotly contested that first Splat Zones match was, and after that, it's just been each team winning on their counter pick. So, you know, the way that Jackpot played in their previous set on Clam Blitz, or I'm sorry, on Piranha Pit rather, it was Clam Blitz coincidentally, but certainly on Piranha Pit, they have to feel comfortable just coming right back here saying we can control everything. But it is a little bit different, as it actually is Clam Blitz, my apologies. It is a little bit different when they're moving forward.
I mean, you know what they say about moving forward on this map, man. You got to try to get through that treadmill. You want to pick up those clams. You want to try to, like, collect as many as you can to score it in the board. I mean, we've already seen this map so many times today with this game mode. You guys already know what this is all about. Get those clams, dunk them into the hoop, score as many points as possible, use those pity clams to your advantage. And again, Jackpot, no stranger to this. It seems to be their Black Billy skate park for Jackpot, you know?
Yep, and you know, it's one of those things where they may have been gifted this by it being counterpicked against them in the previous set, and they're like, oh wow, we played that well here? Cool, let's just do it again.
Yeah, we're good on this map.
Oh, in already. Hopping into it, it's going to be the same comp that they broke out last time. Biscuit going to be switching over to that vaunted K52 Gal. So truly the Splash-O-Matic, a counter pick for that map and mode, which we do love to see even late here in Splatoon 2's life cycle, people finding true counter picks.
I was cracking up at Jared, just kind of like moving so slow right there, trying to pick up clams all sneaky. He thinks he's slick. He thinks he's slick, and you just go in there and install that stingray. He's like, oh, okay, I got to move.
Immediately push up here with this. It's been a kind of a scrap here in the center, and you can see already some great shifting of the clams over to build that power clam here. Leafy going to be at the top of the screen to try to push forward there. And actually, I don't know if I saw Leafy coming over, did figure it out just late, and there's going to be a couple members jumping down on Leafy, though. Not enough time on the clock there to get out. Ice is going to get that pick, and once again, the push going to stop rather before he can really get started.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a great pick because you saw him trying to escape, trying to go for like a squid jump back to home base, but managed to get him. Gets a stingray on Legend, finding its mark, trying to capture Jared yet again. Managed to just put a little bit of damage on him, forcing him to kind of retreat a little bit. He's going to go back to collecting those clams. No one has yet to get that power clam yet into the dunk. We'll see if we can get any picks right here. There's one for Starburst. Going to be able to get one more pick on Jackpot. Can they go for another one while they're still going to be collecting clams across the map? Brand's got another special here. Going to throw out those missiles. Point blank.
Only Bran, and goodness, this is gonna hurt. I have to think that Bran immediately pulled those out, was like, oh crap, I didn't know you were here. And thankfully someone else had rotated over in time to at least take some of the crossfire there, as Jared's gonna go ahead and promptly punch that one out. But Biscuit's still up, gonna jump out there, but all the way down to 39. And it's just amazing how such a crazy scenario works with that many points so quickly. I didn't really even think that Starburst had that great of a foothold to make a push like that.
I mean, they were holding on to those clams, brother, but now we're seeing right now 39 points remaining for Starburst. Gonna be able to try to push as much as they can. This is Jackpot's time to shine. They need to get a pick. They need to get the push. They managed to break the clam blitz, but every single person is alive from Starburst, so it's not gonna be that big of a push for points.
No, and already Leafy gonna try to make something happen here. Probably should jump out here, but instead is opting to fight to the bitter end. Gotta appreciate the spunk from him there, but you know, not a horrible push here. You've at least managed to chip away at some of it, but I think the real thing that kind of you showed there is Ice with a double. With one burst bomb is going to immediately move forward and try to get a triple there, is able to at least get an assist. Is that took 3 specials just to get them close to the basket. That was a Booyah Bomb and a Suction Bomb rush just to get close. Meanwhile, on the other side, Starburst has simply fought their way through. Ice is using his Stingray here. Once that's done, he's going to be able to grab the pitting clam and go over. Biscuit simply sitting up there as a beacon with the Booyah Bomb. That's going to jump in. That's going to score. Ice has almost enough clams to end it single-handedly. And watch the score counter at the top. They're going to opt to take care of Legend there, at least get him out of the way. They have more than enough clams to end it 2-1. And how's about it?
That entire sequence was literally just Starburst, like, pretty much got a wipe on Jackpot, but didn't have any clams to score with. They didn't have anything to like break the no one had a power clam, so they couldn't break the hoop. So you saw them just kind of like dive back towards the pity clam, like you said, and while they're back there, he's like, hey, you know what? I got a Stingray. I'm gonna shoot this before I dive. And that's exactly what they did. Got another team win, and that's gonna be the set going to Starburst, taking off Jackpot 3-1. Is gonna move on to grand finals to try to get their revenge.
Oof, and a lovely revenge it'll be. A congratulations must be given to Jackpot for finishing in 3rd place here in SuperJump 2. 140 teams competing, getting top 3, not bad at all. And the run that they had to get here, beating the teams that they did, beating 4 tickets to victory, who for many folks was their pick to win this event, then 2-0ing Ice Cube, meeting your defeat at the hands of Starburst. Not a bad tournament whatsoever.
Not at all, man. This is like one of the last big online majors you're gonna see for Splatoon 2, possibly in its lifespan. Like, it's good to like put on a show like that. So I have pretty high hopes for Jackpot for Splat 3, man. I want to see how they're gonna pop off when that game comes out.
Well, you know, speaking of Splatoon 3, we have a LAN that's going to be coming up called the Big House 10. Big House 10 will be the first LAN to crown a Splatoon 3